is Dom. Today we've been extracting Hypericum periphoreum, which is commonly known as St. John's wort. This herb we absolutely love. I just want to show you the colour of our extract as it comes out. It's like a super deep, rich, dark, purpley red, brown colour. And we make the aqua ethanol extraction here. I'm just going to taste this and see what I get. Straight away there's an astringency and a dryness on my tongue. It's not the best tasting herb. We extract the stem and the leaf from this herb. Traditionally, it's got a few beautiful things about Hypericum that I just want to share with you. And as a herb, the number one magic that Hypericum has is that it balances your emotional body. So that skill on its own is really magical. And the reason why I say that is because in medicine and in health and wellness, if your emotional body isn't balanced, then generally it comes through and your nervous system can become fractured and your nervous system can become frail. And then when your nervous system becomes fractured and frail, that often leads to like a scattered Shen situation, which is a situation where you're not well, you're fractionated and you don't cope emotionally well with things, and everything kind of gets to you and you get upset super fast and you might cry, or anxiety, depression, and those kinds of conditions kick in a lot faster and a lot harder. One of the evidence bases in Europe, the Commission E, there's a lot of really good peer-reviewed clinical trials that have been done on Hypericum St. John's wort, showing that its efficacy as a monoamine inhibitor antidepressant is effective, and it is as effective as the pharmaceutical antidepressants. It doesn't have the same side effects, it's non-addictive, and it has an immediate kick-in. So when you take Hypericum St. John's wort for anxiety, depression, scattered Shen, nervous system stress, even when you're under a lot of stress, it's an amazing herb when you're in that situation. But one of the things I love is you get to take it before the situation, and it's preventative, and it's like a buffer zone, so it's super strengthening. Hypericum St. John's wort we also use as an antiviral. That's its traditional use. When you go into old Celtic medicine, when you go into pagan medicine, when you go into cultural traditional medicine throughout all of Europe, throughout all of Persia, all of the Arabic countries in the past, it was used as an antiviral. And the reason it was used as an antiviral is because it just kicked in super fast in the liver and kills viruses. It kills infections. It's really powerful. And one of the things that happens, which is really cool, is that, you know, when you get a virus or you get sick, then all of those other side effects come in, like your nervous system becomes a little bit dysfunctional, you're a little bit more vulnerable and frail. So for anyone who has a virus or who wants to prevent viruses, for anybody who has emotional conditions that go with viruses, there's a twin win-win with St. John's wort. Really always put it in formulas in those situations. It's super cooling on the skin. It stops burns. Like this extract, the aqua ethanol extraction of Hypericum St. John's wort, we use in the herbal first aid service in the medicine room all the time. Like if you have some of this in your herbal first aid kit at home, if you get kitchen burns, if you get anything like that, you put it on straight away, because one of the things that it does is it dulls and desensitizes nerve pain. And that's topically, that's what it does. It desensitizes it. So for example, if you've got sunburn and you use a cream with St. John's wort in it, that's perfect. Or you can just get this aqua ethanol extraction and you can mix it with some water and just brush it across your skin and put it on your skin. We use it for pain, for shingles all of the time. We make a great balm here with chili and Hypericum, which is great for nerve pain. So any kind of nerve pain, this is the one to put on. Twitching of the skin, you know, when you start twitching eyes, twitching body, twitching, any twitching in your body, take St. John's wort as your herb of choice internally as part of your daily formula. This herb does have some contraindications. So if you're on any blood pressure medications, or if you're on any pharmaceutical antidepressants, or if you've got a sensitivity to the sun, or if you've got any liver conditions, I'd talk to your healthcare practitioner before you start taking this herb. But if you're on no medications and you really want something that's going to help you, this is the one. And you know, I just can't overemphasize how good it is and how well it works. I like to mix it with quite a few different herbs. One of the things I love to mix it with is anything that's going to be sort of really good for your adrenal recovery. And that would be something like the tonic licorice root. Licorice root and St. John's wort go hand in hand together. One, because licorice root to me tastes good. St. John's wort, it does not taste good. Like it definitely tastes like you are swallowing the stem and the leaf of something quite dull, astringent, potent, kind of almost dirt tasting to me. It's got a real Mother Earth taste to the extract, and that's how you can tell a good extract. Like even now, like after I had that little sip at the beginning of this blog, I can still taste it in my mouth, and I can definitely taste it on the root of my mouth. The therapeutic dose for St. John's wort, if you've got someone who's anxious, if you've got an acute situation where, like, say for example, your body's gone into shock, this is a really good time to use Hypericum internally in the body. Any shock, now when you go through a shock, there's that suddenness that happens with the shock, and what happens is your nervous system sends a message to the muscles to pretty well freeze, and so your muscles become really super constricted. And when that happens, St. John's wort is like the number one herb to have. If you're in any kind of accident, or if you've got anything going on that is a sudden shock to you and your system, or if somebody passes away, or if there's a situation, there's an emotional situation, and if something really, really upsets you, this is the number one herb to have. And when it comes to things like muscles tightening and spasming, like in body work, we always work on, you know, like the rhomboids and the trapezius, and we work on going down through the spine and releasing the spinal muscles at the back. St. John's wort extract, added in with some olive oil if you're a body worker or a therapist, and you just massage it through that whole area and work it through the whole spine. You're actually doing topical repair work on the nervous system. You're realigning the spine. You're doing topical work on the nerves, on the muscles, and you're opening that up again. If you do shiatsu or if you do acupuncture, putting the herbal, like on the gallbladder 21 points up here, on the lung points, on the great letting go parts of the body, when somebody's in shock, not only giving them a shot of this internally. And when I say that, in a really acute situation, for someone who's on no medications, who is in shock, who is suddenly faced with something that is traumatizing them emotionally, physically, mentally, or etherically, then I would give them 10 mils per 20 kilos of body weight. So that means if you weigh 60 kilos, I would give you 30 mils of the herb, and I'd mix it in with about 15 mils of water, and I'd get them to drink it just over like a 5-minute period, and then I'd go back in again 30 to 60 minutes later and do exactly the same thing again. Lie them down, get them to rest. If you do shiatsu or acupuncture, go for the great letting go points, massage the Hypericum in there. If you're doing body work, go through the spine. Number one is the spine. Work through the spine, the neck, the gates of consciousness in the mind. Massage the Hypericum through the temples here, and just really get them to breathe deeply and to let go. And with the St. John's wort, you can take somebody from a really acute shock situation and they'll be feeling better a lot faster. If it's something like a long-term use of the herb, St. John's wort, Hypericum, like once again, if you're on no medications and if your body is generally healthy and you might be feeling like your life isn't where you want it to be, you feel emotionally upheavaled about something, or you've gone through a situation like a relationship breakup, or somebody has passed away, or you've moved house, or you've changed jobs, or just any kind of trauma really, or if you're just feeling stressed because like you're working super hard all the time and you're overdoing it, and that kind of thing, then a daily dose of St. John's wort is my usual therapeutic dose, which I recommend to be pretty well 5 mils per 20 kilos of body weight a day, which is half the acute dose. So that's like a longer term dose. And also, like if in that situation, I'd be mixing the hypericum with adaptogenic herbs like Withania somniferia, which is ashwagandha, because that's also another great herb to deal with stress, and it's another great herb that helps you, but I'll do a blog on that sometime. I'd mix it in with ginkgo biloba, which is also a stress one, but good for the mind. Bacopa monnieri, which is Brahmi, which is also super good for the mind. And I'd be taking the St. John's wort and I'd be mixing it in with herbs for you that meet your daily life requirements. For example, if you're in a super mental job and like you're traveling a lot, or like those kinds of things, we'd be blending it in with both adrenal and mental herbs. If you're in a really stressed situation where your emotional body is really stressed, we'd be mixing it in with really relaxing nervines and things that are going to just super calm you down and just bring it down, like just, turn the channel down. The thing about hypericum is every time you have hypericum, every single time, you're taking your frequency and your vibration and you're just turning the channel down into a more relaxed. And that's what it does. It really helps the body relax. So our website is medicineroom.com.au. You can connect with me through there. Come to our free community clinics at your Monday Markets Weekly. Talk to me on the phone, Skype. Come to clinics. Super excited about this herb. It's certainly a lifesaver. It's really, really helps so many people, and I'm just blessed to be able to work with it. St. John's wort.